Good morning. It's Zach with Let's Talk About Us. Welcome back and happy Tuesday. Today, we're covering some local news. Boeing says it's considering temporary layoffs to save cash during the strike by machinists. They're striking, huh? Okay. This is written by David Koenig and Lindsay Wasson. Posted yesterday at 5 p.m. Boeing plans to freeze hiring and reduce travel, and is considering temporary layoffs to save cash during a factory workers' strike that began last week. The company told employees Monday. The company said the moves, which include reduced spending on suppliers, were necessary because our business is in a difficult period. Our business is in a difficult period. We're sorry. Just the vibe I get from that is just like, yeah, we're going through difficulties. Meanwhile, the government is like looking at you directly, and like the world is looking at you directly because, you know, it's not like you maybe possibly had a couple of people removed from existence recently. Chief Financial Officer Brian West detailed 10 immediate cutbacks in a memo to employees. They include a freeze on hiring across all levels, pausing pay increases for managers and executives who got promoted, and stopping all travel that isn't critical. Okay. So at least, I mean, that probably doesn't mean anything for like the top people, but like managers and executives not getting pay increases, that means it's probably serious. We are also considering the difficult step of temporary furloughs for many employees, managers, and executives in the coming weeks, West said. What did those furloughs happen to include? The striking workers? Boeing business is in a difficult spot, he said, adding, this strike jeopardizes our recovery in a significant way. About 33,000 workers represented by the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers began a strike early Friday. The walkout came after workers rejected an offer of a 25% increase in pay over 4 years. The union originally saw a pay hike of at least 40%. Representatives of the company and the union are scheduled to meet Tuesday with federal mediators. The union has started to survey its members to learn what they want most in a new contract. What do you guys want most? What is it that you want? Why are you striking? Striking workers are picketing at several locations around Washington State, Oregon, and California. Outside Boeing's huge factory in Everett, Washington, Nancy Browning, a materials management specialist at Boeing for more than 17 years, said last week's offer was worse than the one that prompted a 2-month strike in 2008. That's a rough time to strike. She said that without annual bonuses that workers have come to depend on, the proposed pay increase was more like 9%, not 25%. And the reason she is saying that, if you're not familiar with how the economy works, is because each year the inflation usually goes up at least, I think, what was it, at like 2 to 3%. And the inflation can go up higher than that, lower than that, but it almost never goes down. It's almost always an upward scale, which is what she's referencing here by saying it's more like 9% than 25%. We just want a piece of the pie like everybody else, she said. Why should we work all this overtime and bust our backs while these guys, Boeing executives, are sitting up in their suites just raking in cash? True! Very true. The bonuses have emerged as a flashpoint for union members. Workers say they range from $3,000 to $5,000 a year. Boeing says it is hard to calculate bonuses in a way that is fair to 33,000 people who perform different jobs. So instead, the company proposed to ditch the payouts and replace them with automatic contributions of $41.60 per year to each employee's 401k retirement account. Okay. Workers are bitter that in contract extensions over the past 16 years, Boeing ended its traditional pension plan and lowered healthcare benefits. So Boeing is doing the whole, with one hand, I offer you money. With the other hand, I take away money. Okay, I get it. Got it. We want our pension back, said Jacob Boostad, a machinist with Boeing for 14 years, who was also on the picket line in Everett. We just keep losing and we never gain, while the people at the top just get more and more money. Boeing has done really good for me and my family, but these last years have been hard. Boeing has lost more than $25 billion since the start of 2019, and burned through $4.3 billion in the second quarter of 2024, as it stood poised to post another money-losing year. The strike will delay deliveries of new planes, which are an important source of cash for the company. Damn, Boeing, it's almost like you should listen to your workers when they bring up safety concerns. It's almost like you're suffering the consequences of your actions. So weird. So weird, you guys. Stephanie Pope, the head of Boeing's commercial airplanes division, cited the company's $60 billion in total debt in... Wait, $60 billion in debt? Jesus, who is managing Boeing right now? A monkey? What the hell? In urging blue-collar workers to accept the contract offer last week, she called it the best offer Boeing had ever made and endorsed by the union's local president and negotiators. Who's in charge of your finances, bro? How do you, what? I know people are buying your planes. So, alright, but workers rejected the recommendation of their own leaders, which had not happened since 1995. Okay. Additional cost-cutting moves spelled out in the chief financial officer's memo, including eliminating first and business class service for anyone on travel that is deemed critical, and stop spending on outside consultants. Okay, so we're pretending everyone gets to be a rich kid. That's why. All right, got it. West also said Boeing plans to make significant reductions in supplier expenditures and will stop most supplier purchase orders related to the 737, 767, and 777 airplane models. After the strike started, Moody's put Boeing on review for a possible credit downgrade, and Fitch said a strike longer than 2 weeks would make a downgrade more likely. Both agencies rate Boeing debt one notch above non-investment or junk status. A Koenig reported from Dallas. Okay. So, essentially what you're telling me is that Boeing is paying the consequences of its actions. You've had literal monkeys managing your finances for the last 20 plus years. And you are finally getting karma for hiring, what was it, that guy from the defunct airplane company that no longer exists anymore, and letting him take over and letting him change Boeing for the absolute worst. There's a whole story on that, by the way. There's a whole thing that Boeing did, I think it was 20 years ago, where they essentially replaced their top brass with people from a failed airplane company. And that failed airplane company kind of took over Boeing in such a way culturally that it changed how they made planes. And I want to say there's a documentary special on that somewhere. But either way, support your unions, support your local unions. Anyway, this has been your local news. Have a happy Tuesday.